Oh, a backhanded slash. Really? Another backhanded slash. Ah, break free from god control. It is pretty graphics. Not bad. Too bad they couldn't give this game some climbing mechanics. If you're going to make an MMO, I think that in today's world, there's certain things that have to have climbing mechanics. The thing that really annoys me about this game is how do I get out of I guess they don't ever want me to mouse cursor over anything on the UI right here because I can't. I have to always go into this mode and then I guess I don't know. And I have this red little crossbow sword thingy in the bottom of my screen that looks like I have my gears damaged, but I can't mouse over it to tell me what that really means. Assuming it means my gears damaged, but how would I know? And if I hit Alt, it takes me to this menu. There's currency, crafting, whipped. Here it says what? Where's like... Fuck if I know. I think the interface, I think one of the things I hate about Elder Scrolls is I really don't like the interface. The interface is pretty shitty, honest. Yeah, keep throwing your shit at me. Honestly, I think I'd be better off playing a caster. I just really don't like the melee combat in Elder Scrolls. Specifically the holding down the left click to charge up a skill is just... It's like so anticlimactic. It's like, I don't want to have to hold down a button. You wanted skills to be more reactive. Like I hit a button and an action occurs, not I hit a button and I'm waiting for something to happen. Now you can just left click really quickly, but it feels... But even then... the animations to me feel, I don't know. I just don't like them. I hate that there's no climbing mechanics. And I hate that when I jump, I feel like I'm floating through the air like some sort of, I don't know, maybe I'm a Jedi Master. Ooh, look at me float. Maybe, you know what? Maybe this planet has like really low gravity. Hey, debuffed. I have no idea. I do not know. I mean, I'm very new to Elder Scrolls Online. I played the game when it first came out. Like I was in the beta, I think. I think I was in the beta. Definitely was in it game day one, day one when they launched, and there were a lot of bugs and stuff. And so I kind of pulled myself out of the game because it just was really, there was a lot of issues. It wasn't that fun. This is I guess it is a warden, right? So if you go to, I mean, how do I even tell? I really dislike the UI in this game. I really do. So I am a warden. I'm a Nord warden. As far as off bar, I really have no idea, and I wish I knew what this red icon means at the bottom of the screen. I'm assuming it means that my gear's damaged. It'd be nice to know what it means. Is there any way to like free my mouse from mouse look mode so that I can hover over that? It doesn't seem like there is. I don't know. So back to my character. Back to your question. Yeah, I am a warden. This is PC version. So when you say off bar, like right now, if you look at my skills, I mean, I don't even know what off bar really means. If you look at my skills right now, what I have is, let's see. These are the ones I have slotted. Ransack, which is just a kind of a thrust with my weapon. I've got a couple heals here. I've got Soothing Spores, and I've also got a Healing Seed, which takes 6 seconds before it basically procs and heals me. I've got a Frost Cloak, which just throws a cloak on myself. Gives me some more defense, and then I've got this Impaling Shards, which is AoE. Throws shards up that damages... it has no charges to it. Well, thank you for telling me that, debuff, because I had no idea. I play a lot of MMOs, and I've played a lot of MMOs. And I don't think I've ever played an MMO where I couldn't probably free my mouse. We're in mouse look mode right now, which I love. I mean, a game that has mouse look, I absolutely love that, right? I like that we can go into first person mode. I like that we have third person mode. I think my warden's pretty cool looking, although I think the character creation in this game is not as good as it could be. For a game that came out in 2014, it seems like the graphics could have been better. I mean, like, for the character graphics. Like, the world graphics are nice. The world itself, it's very Skyrim, like it's very Elder Scrolls. I played Skyrim. Skyrim was the only Elder Scrolls game I played, and let's kill the music right. Actually, let's just fast forward to a spot that's not so annoying. I always hate that part of that song. But I played Skyrim a lot, so I'm very familiar with the graphics in Skyrim, and this looks like an Elder Scrolls game as far as the graphics. And the UI, and of course, let's be honest. The UI for Skyrim was never really a PC. Oh, thanks, Debuffed. I thought you looked familiar, but I couldn't remember. But I mean, Skyrim was never really meant for PC originally. I don't think. I mean, it definitely, maybe it was. I don't know. But the controls in Skyrim always, to me, felt like they were meant for a console. But I don't play console games. I only play PC games, so I'm very used to mouse and a keyboard. And there's a lot of things about Skyrim I don't. Skyrim. There's a lot of things about ESO I don't like, but they're not like game-breaking things. I mean, they're things that I could probably just get over if I just play the game enough and get used to. But when you're talking about, let's talk about it again, Debuff. You're saying, so when you attack, when you equip, if it has like a blue bar, and the blue bar is filled via the soul gems. Okay. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. So this axe. Well, I can tell you one thing, Debuff. This axe had like a shiny, sparkly glow to it, and now it's gone. So I guess I've used up all the charges on it. So that's probably what that was then, right? And You said you like the area you chose to play with. When you choose the other teams, you get different things to do. Been messing around with it a lot on and off and played Skyrim too. Yeah. There's a lot of things about, like I said, there's a lot of things about this game I don't like. I always feel like the world, even though it's supposedly probably pretty big, doesn't feel big. And the reason it doesn't feel big is no matter where you go, you're always running into big buildings, and there's no just big open expanses of wilderness or trees or swamps, which I like. I like that. I like feeling like I'm traveling from a city to maybe a village to maybe a city, you know, and having like a lot of stuff in between, like just dangerous forest or a dangerous swamp. And I never feel like that in ESO. I always feel like all I have to do is walk another 100 feet and I'm going to run to some structure. You know, it doesn't have that real world feeling to it. This doesn't feel like a real world to me. So hopefully there's other zones that don't do this. The combat's a little off to me, but I mean, I like the game's got a lot of cool things too. I'm trying to like this game because there really just isn't anything else to play right now. You know, all the other MMOs I've played to death, and they all have their good and bad things, you know. He's like draining. Shit, my mouse cord's fucking stuck. Oh, nothing I hate worse than a mouse cord that's not behaving. Don't tell me to go wireless, because I don't do wireless, my friends. I'm old school. Yeah, gotcha. I don't have any of the... When you say DLCs, I mean, clarify what you mean by DLCs, right? So, like... I can type. I'm sure I can. So if you go to the store, right, and we type in... Good lord, I'm not in a good mood today, because this fucking computer's not working right. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Alright, so I clicked in there and started typing, and it jumped off. So, Elder Scrolls Online, Elder Scrolls... Greymoor's not available yet. I have the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, apparently. In library, and I have this in library. There's also... The only really DLC is Elsewhere, right? That's available. This is the only one. So... I almost bought it yesterday. But I haven't bought this one yet. And there's also... Yeah, but I mean... So all they have right now, right, is just Elsewhere, right? So all I see right now is really just the Elsewhere one, you know? There's other ones before Elsewhere? What? Well, if there's other ones before Elsewhere, they don't show up on the in Steam. No, I thought if they would, but I mean, there's the online, like ESO's weird. You could have bought it through the website, or you could have bought it through Steam. And I think originally, I bought Elder Scrolls Online. In fact, I bought a different version of Elder Scrolls Online. I bought like the Morrowind or some shit, or some weird version. I don't know. on the website, and then I had to get it on Steam, and there was an issue between the two. It was really fucked up, man. It was like how they had like multiple versions of the game, you know? Oh man, I cannot type. I just woke up. Maybe that's what it is. Fingers just are not working yet. I just was asleep. Good lord, what's my password? I don't even fucking remember. I'm sure that's probably not it. Maybe that was it. You know, one thing I hate about the internet these days is passwords. You know how many accounts and how many passwords I have? It's so ridiculous. I must have 50, at least 50 accounts, 50 passwords. At least, and that's like not even exaggerating. I probably have more than that. Really? You're gonna make me type in an access code this long? Copy paste, my friend. Hey, what's up, Ken? I need boy. I know. I'm totally like I can't type. I'm drinking Mountain Dew right now, so that's. Yeah, I heard. Hey, Debuffed. I heard the daily rewards are pretty good. Like, there's a few like daily PvP and stuff that are good. Come on, I clicked the acknowledge button. Boy, that was slow. So if you look here, it'll say like. See, it says Elder Scrolls Online Steam Edition. But if you notice, I also have the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited Edition. And that says active. You know, you have 1,000 crowns on your PC Mac. See, this is the thing that really makes me mad, Debuffed, is that I actually bought the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel. So I have like all these crowns. But I had so much issues with this version of the game, like using it through the Elder Scrolls website, that I actually went and bought the Steam version, and they're like, I think they're exclusive. They're different. I mean, they're mutually exclusive, so. I mean, look at the dates on here. I'm a member of the Steam edition since June 6, 2018, but I'm a member of the online Tamriel edition since November 20th, 2013. If I'm correct, the game was supposedly released in 2014, so I actually owned this version of the game before it was even out, probably. Right? So I don't know. Maybe I should download this version of the game and try to play it. But I think I had problems with this version, and that's why I went with the Steam version. I always hate it when games do this. When games have like two different versions, you know, like a Steam version versus like, you know, versus like their own web. I've encountered this with several video games, and it's always really, really annoying. So. First, have anything through Steam since 2018 and haven't had any issues. I wouldn't recommend. As far as I know, I thought they were linked. Here you go. If your version of Elder Scrolls Online was not purchased through Steam, which my original one was not, you will not be able to link your Steam account to the existing ESO account without purchasing a new copy of the game on Steam first. Which I did. I had to actually buy the game twice, which is such bullshit, man. Hey, what's up, Bro Hagen? I've played too many, and I'm still looking for one that actually is enjoyable. Yeah, Command and Conquer, nice. So here, before you link the accounts, you need to ensure that you have the right Steam version of ESO installed. Log into Steam, right-click on Elder Scrolls, and select Properties. First of all, let's close out down my password manager. Yeah, bro, how many MMOs have I played in the past couple weeks, and how many have I actually enjoyed? That's the real question. Very few. I'm very frustrated with MMOs right now. Okay. Select the local files tab and check current content build at the bottom. If your version is not this or greater, you will need to delete and reinstall the game. If the version is this or greater, you can skip down to the link your ESO and Steam accounts in game. 138.02. If the version is this or greater, 138.0321. Oops. Where's the current build? I'm on local files, but there's no thing that says current content build. Let's browse, see what this says. Nothing really important. This looks like it's out of date. If you check current content, bottom of the page, down here. The current content build is 426. 5966, 42659. So it's definitely a later number than that one. You can skip down to the link your ESO and Steam accounts in game. Yo, where's that at? I thought my accounts were linked already, to be honest. Hey Mason, what's up? Pantheon? The only thing I know about Pantheon, because I haven't been staying up to date, I haven't been staying like super up to date on it, other than, I check in with Minus at Pantheon Plus all the time, and they're still working really hard on the game. I mean, they're doing updates on streams all the time, and they're, even like Minus has been interviewing. Okay, this music's got to go. It's killing me. Minus has been interviewing, people from Pantheon, some of the developers. And they're all pretty tight-lipped. None of them are saying when the alpha is going to come out or whatever. Like if you go to Pantheon, and if I go to the forums, and I go to my profile, okay. No idea what my password is because I have 10,000 accounts. Apparently that's it. Hey, look, I was born in 1970. Personal information, profile. Or my profile. Here we go. No, that's not what I want to see. Where is it? It'll actually say support. No, we don't want support. I don't want personal info. What is on my personal info? Julian Kish. Main character's name Faith. I'm a male. I was born in 1970. I'm old. How about go to what I was looking for is it used to tell you it used to actually tell you your pledge level, and that's what I'm looking for. I don't see it. But if we go to pledges on Pantheon, you can see the different ones, right? Now, this one here, like the supporter pledges are $50 to $100. The champion pledges are $200 to $500. I'm in this category. I'm in the champion pledges. In the champion pledge, you get full game plus access to beta and alpha testing. So whenever they come out with any alpha, I will be able to play Pantheon Rise of the Fallen because I am right around, I think I pledged at least $350. I've upgraded a couple times, like added $50 here and there, but I'm basically, what is it here? Well, they've changed these prices. This Black Rose, I don't think was. I thought this used to be a lower price. I think a lot of these used to be lower prices. I'm at like 350, I think. So yeah. I think I'm around this advisor's pledge, even though I think I'm at $350. So I'd have to donate another 150 just to get like the digital lore and art book. Although I love getting the art books. They make good coffee table books. But anyways, so yeah, so I mean, really, I don't really know. They really haven't said, or they really haven't leaked that information. They just will not come out. The game has been in pre-alpha. See, it's been in pre-alpha since December 12th. Yeah, so no one knows. I don't see any. There's a speculation thread, but yeah, it kind of sucks. No one really knows. Okay, so these ridiculous shenanigans, right? All right, so the shenanigans of ESO. So how do we link these guys together? If your original Scrolls Line was not purchased through Steam, which mine wasn't originally, you can link your Steam account to your existing ESO account without purchasing a copy of the game. If you have previously purchased Elder Scrolls Online on Steam, which I hadn't, and want to link your Steam account, you need to buy Steam account. You can do so by launching the game from Steam. To link the Steam and ESO accounts, follow this process. Okay, you skip down to the link. Okay, the version is greater. You can skip down to skip down to this section. Select Elder Scrolls and press play. Allow ESO Launcher to open. Download and apply any private. From the in-game login screen, select I have an existing. Okay, let's try this. Okay, let's go out. I think Ashes of Creation is, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I mean, I've never liked the guy Steven Shotwell, or whoever, not Steven Shotwell, Steven somebody who runs that game. I think he's kind of a douche, and I think they basically put out they whipped up some stuff with some Unreal, assets, Unreal Engine assets to make it something that looked pretty and got a bunch of people's money. But I will give them credit for the fact that it looks like they're following through and actually going to create an MMO. Which, if you would have asked me about 8 months ago, if I thought they were ever going to release an MMO for Ashes of Creation, I would have emphatically said no. I don't think they're going to. But now, after they've done a couple of update videos with new content they've created, and I definitely think they will release an MMO. Do I think it will be any good? No, I don't think it will be any good. My biggest reason for saying that is that they're basing the game around a zone control type, progression, competition, contention, PvP control type system. Basically you have different zones and different people contribute different amounts of resources into those zones to raise up the points, and then they take control of those specific cities or points on the map. And but whenever you have a game like that, it just turns into a complete PvP gank fest. So unless they have some sort of a PvE friendly version, which I don't think they will, because the whole game seems centered around PvP. Anytime you have a game, an MMO that's centered around just PvP, or that's the main focus, in my opinion, it really is not a good game. As Steven Seagal. I said Steven Shotwell, who's actually a person I knew a long time ago, but back to where this. So yeah, I just think it's going to be a gank fest. I mean, if you like PvP, maybe you'll like the game, but if you look at game like Arcade, right? Hey, thanks, Barack. I don't know. I'm salty today, man. I'm just bitching and moaning and crying. So I don't know why anybody would like these streams, but good to see you, Barack. But I think anytime you have a game that's centered around PvP, usually they don't turn out to be very good games. They might be good games for people who really love PvP, but I think if you're gonna have a game like that, you still need to have some sort of some PvE aspects to it that allow PvE players to kind of go their own path. And I don't really see that in Ashes. I see a game that really is more for people who want to just control points in the map and dominate the map, and thus dominate the game. And I think that's going to put off a lot of PvE people. I just don't think it'll be fun. I think it's going to be and whenever you have a game that's more PvP focused, you get the younger crowd. Because let's face it, the hardcore PvPers in MMOs, really, honestly, and I know because I've been playing MMOs for a long, long, long time, the hardcore PvPers, most of them are younger. They're the younger crowd, They're all those little kids who want to get their wiggles out. You know what I mean? The people that really so you're going to get the crowd that's ages 13 to maybe 28 or something that are focusing on PvP, and they're usually the ones that are just kind of like little pricks and little assholes and trying to, waggle their e-peens all over the internet. Look at me, I'm awesome. And I just think that type of game is usually not very fun, and it always produces a very acidic and a very combative community. The community, like if you look at Terra, like the high-end Terra people, like when I played Terra when it first came out and I got to like the max level and I was doing like the high-end PvP raids and stuff, and the big zone battling for zones and stuff, people were assholes. I mean, they were real jerks. And then when I played Black Desert in the beginning, people were nice, but once I got to the max level again, and we were just all we were doing was going around ganking other guild stuff, again, people were assholes. They were just jerks. I can't think of a game that had that had really good PvP without solid PvE that was a fun game. I can't think of a single one, unless it was like an FPS, and of course people in FPS are assholes. But I knew that going in to an FPS like Unreal Tournament, I knew going in that those guys are going to be assholes. But hey, back then I was young. I was in my late 20s and my early 30s, and I was an asshole. But I was good. I beat everybody's ass. And so, but that's just a different mentality. I'm not like that anymore. I'm not like that anymore. And I'm a nice person most of the time now. But yeah, so I don't think Ashes Creations would be good for me. It might be good for people who like PvP. Yeah, they just want to get their wiggles out, man. But that comes from Nacho Libre, the movie, Mason. You ever watch Nacho Libre? He's like, they just want to get their wiggles out. Anyway, so I wanted to try to go back to this really quick. This guy. So it says here, from the in-game login screen, select the I have an existing account checkbox. This says allow, hey, from the in-game login screen. So I'm not at the login screen. So we need to go back and we need to, I think, log out, right? Let's quit. Back here. And okay, so there's a play button here. Game options. Count. Here we go. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Here, let's move these over to the other monitor here real quick. Yeah, so we're not having to move my screen around so much. And close. All right, so it says input says from the in-game login screen. Well, I don't know if this is the in-game login screen. Not asking me to log in. If I click account, it goes to the website, so that's not what we want. Let's here. How about here? Language, start, minimize. I don't see anything here around matching these accounts up. I thought I was actually pretty sure that I had linked my accounts. Oops, Elder Scrolls. Okay, so here it says to play Elder Scrolls Online on a PlayStation, Xbox, all this other crap. So this is like linking it to Stadia, linking to Xbox, linking to Twitch, and all this shit that I really don't give a shit about. Manage membership. No, I really don't want to manage my membership. Let's go back to game. Oh, I want to see that first screen again. This screen here. See, it says here that says I'm a member of this PC version. It says account status active trial. I don't know what that really means. And this one says active. So this one I think is not really active. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really understand how to link these guys together. But I think it sucks that I had to buy the game twice. You know what I mean? The whole reason I started this whole thing if you guys are wondering, is because of Debuffed. It's your fault, Debuffed. I don't know. You know, bro, I would say that I've played games that are monetized more than ESO. I certainly haven't seen that it was like super monetized. Why is it monetized? Like, here's the thing, guys. I want an MMO that has pretty good graphics, has pretty good combat, and has like a good open world. It's got a really good open world with dungeons that I can play, and open and like world bosses in the actual world. I know ESO has bosses in the actual world. I don't know if they have dungeons. I think they do. But I don't see it. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of pisses me off that I had to buy this game twice. I think what happened is I was trying to play the PC version, and it just wasn't working, and I was just so frustrated that I couldn't get the PC version to log into the game that I just said screw it, and I went to Steam and bought the Steam version just so I could play the game because I couldn't play. Yeah, the whole reason this started is because Debuff was talking about extra content. Debuff, you were talking about extra content that is available almost like on the PC version versus the Steam version. I don't understand that. You're saying there's like DLCs? So there are public dungeons? Okay, well, but I don't have a subscription though. Like, this is not an actively subbed game that I'm playing here. This is like a free version, right? I don't have a subscription to this. I don't believe. I hope not, or else I've been paying for it for months without knowing it. So, right? Yeah, so you play for free. March, I don't know what they're talking about. Where is the Crown Store? Well, I think I have to be in. I think the Crown Store is in when we log in, right? I think once we log into the game, we'll be able to access the Crown Store. But the thing is, I have 1,000 crowns on my PC account. It says right there on my account, but I don't think I have any on this one. And I hate this. Like, if I hit escape, it goes to this view, right? But I have to hit fucking alt. I have to escape out of that and hit the alt key to bring up the menu. That is so bonkers to me. Like, every game I've ever played, I hit escape to go to the menu. So whatever. To the Crown Store. I'm feeling really salty to get today, guys. So I apologize. But so yeah. So okay, cool. So see, I do have 1,000 crowns. So it's all good. So I was able to, at some point in time, I knew I linked these accounts. I thought. I don't know. So I have 1,000 crowns, but as far as like an account, I don't know. Here, upgrades. I don't care about any of this stuff. Here, DLC. Yeah, so they do have these DLCs. I was unaware that they had all these DLCs. We found it, Debuffed. Yeah, no, but we found it. Here it is. So here's all the DLCs that you were talking about. I had no idea these even existed. Begin your Dark Heart of Skyrim. So these add adventures. Yeah, I don't really like this. Yeah, I don't really like this. This to me, it makes it like, I don't want to say it's monetized, but you're paying for this stuff. Now, my thing is, if I had an active subscription, I wouldn't have to pay for these, would I? You know what I mean? I would assume that if I had an active subscription, or maybe the active subscription doesn't exist anymore. Where's the account thing at? You know what I mean? Yeah, I found it. Yeah, but if I have a subscription, do I have to buy the DLCs? Or if I have an active subscription, do I just get the DLCs? Because if I don't get the DLCs with a subscription, then why would you even want a subscription? You know? No, you're saying I don't get it. See, so that's lame. So it's like even if I subscribe to the game, I have to pay money to get the DLCs. Oh, it does. The monthly subscription does unlock them. Okay, cool. So my goal with coming in here and even playing this game, and I really hate this UI. It's really driving me nuts. How do I get my mouse free so I can actually do something? Like, how do I get to the chat window? Can I get to the chat window? See the chat window over here? How do I fucking get over to it so I can actually interact with it? See, here I can't. It's like... Oh, I guess I can't. That is so bizarre. Like, now I can't touch the chat window. But if I hit escape, it minimizes it. That's stupid. Why minimize it? So now I gotta click a button. And now I guess I can do it. Man, that's just kind of... It's kind of a weird... It's like every MMO does it a certain way, but ESO's got to be different, apparently. And I feel like I have no abilities. You know, I've got like... I mean, I do have some abilities. Like, you see the bottom screen, I've got A, D, F, 3, and mouse button 4, and my R skill. Talking about the abilities, let's go back to that too, debuffed. Oh, see, so that works. Oh, and that actually solves the whole problem, debuffed. That's all I was trying to do this whole time, was be able to get... So the enter key frees up the mouse. I was trying to do this so I could hover over my skills. Thank you, debuffed. Thank you. I mean, almost every other MMO will either be Alt key, Control key, or you just have a free-floating mouse like you do in WoW at all times, you know, because you're not in mouse look mode. But apparently in ESO, you have to hit the Enter key to free the mouse, which is strange. I've never seen a game do it that way. That's why it was throwing me off. I'm like, why can't I free the mouse up? So that's cool. That solves that problem, which was really driving me batty. So the next issue here is we got to look at the skills. And if we go to class, it's weird how they do the classes too, and I don't like how this window's docked and I can't move it around. Because it's all the way to the side of the screen. I don't like that. I'm a picky son of a... Yeah, thanks, Steve. So here we have, these are the skills we have. I guess they try to categorize them. I've got under Winter's Embrace, I have these Sleet Storm. I've got these 3 things. And then, so these are different skills under different areas that you can unlock, I guess. Or these are passive abilities. And I've put some, you know, like I put 1 point into Constitution here, which increases my health recovery. But I don't know. I have no idea, like, if, you know, if I can, like, is there a limit to these abilities? You know, can I only assign so many points like in World of Warcraft? Or will I be able to get enough points that I can pretty much fill out most of these? So there's a lot of questions regarding those things. And, like, also, like, these are the weapons that I'm using. Like, I'm using a one-handed shield. So these are the things that I would, you know, open up. Like right here with low slash, I don't have any skill. Oh, I think I do. I think I'm at level 12. But so basically, I'm going down the path of the shield and the sword. So I would end up getting like these skills, like defensive posture, shield charge, power bash, and then here's like fortress. So I'm going down kind of a tanky build. Now the animal though, I don't have any. Like I can learn, I guess, dive. I'm not going to get any. I'm not going for damage. I'm going for tankiness. That's just the way I play MMOs. I love to build like really tanky characters. So let's go ahead and hit the G key to claim my level. Okay. And we now have gotten an attribute point, a skill point. I can't fill them up as long as you have points, and no, you can't. You can fill them up as long as you have the points on, let's say, 5, etc. And from there, in max level, you get champion points instead. So, are you saying be able to fill up, say, all of the... So, like, for example here, will I be able to fill up all of these? Like, see these? Will I be able to fill up all of these passives and learn all of these active abilities on this one-handed shield, and also be able to fill up all of these passives as well? I can? Okay, it says yes, you can. Okay. Oh, it's 3 Sky Shards equals... Okay, how do you get a Sky Shard? This is great. Debuff knows how to play this game, because I sure as hell don't. Okay, so weapon. So we have 1 point. We could learn this ability, which surprise enemy with a deep lunge, dealing damage. It says cast time instant target enemy. Yeah, debuff knows this game. Yeah. Well, what's this stuff? Light fingers? I did think it would be neat to increase my sneak ability. Right here. I thought it'd be fun to increase my improved hiding. I don't know if I'd get enough skill points. You could fill a main ability plus your main passives. Okay, so I probably can't fill all the others. And then here, racial. My North skills, I've got increase your experience game with the 2-handed skill line. And increase your max health. I actually put 1 point into this one, because it increases my max health and cold resistance. That's pretty good, you know. And then here we also have increase your max stamina, so that's pretty good. But my North skills are pretty good. Fire torch things on my map, huh? Like this thing? Let's go towards this torch. Here it is, it's right there on the map. The Crypt of Exiles. Oh, cool, I can unlock that. I have no idea what my character dove forward there. Die, spiders! Steel! Give me that. Classic WoW, I just got... It wasn't the grind, Brohagony. Although I guess you could say it was kind of the grind, but it was more... I played Classic. I played Classic WoW, you know, the original WoW, back in 2004 when it came out. I played it. Then I played on private servers for almost 3 years. I was playing Classic WoW or Vanilla WoW on private servers for years. Then Classic came out, and then I was playing that for like almost a year or whatever, however long I played that, and I just got tired of it. I got tired of doing the same things I'd done 1,000 times before. I just got... You know what I mean? It was like... Every time I logged in, I felt like, man, I've already done all this, you know? So, I mean, I'm excited to see Burning Crusade come out. And, you know, but I just wanted something different. I wanted something new, you know? I just got tired of The same thing. I need DLC for those boxes. Oh my god. Sounds like was it you, Bro Hagney, that said that? It sounds like this whole Oh, and Bro Hagney, I missed your question. Do I dislike the animations as much as you? Yes, I do. I very much dislike the animations in this game. They're terrible. Like the animations right here are terrible. Why is this guy swinging at me? Fucking freaking me out, dude. That was on crack, man. Yeah, I played classic I played classic WoW so much, you know, and vanilla WoW, and just I probably spent, you know, I spent really 6 to 7 years on just that version of World of Warcraft, you know. Not sure how he hit me there. Yeah, it's well I don't like the animations. You know. I'm not sure what Roblox is, Sonic. How's it going, Sonic? What is Roblox? Well, I can tell you right now, I don't. This is the 4th or 5th time I've tried to play ESO. It's like the 4th or 5th time I've played it, and I still can't. I still just can't get it. I don't. There's too many things about it I don't like. You know. There's too many things about the game. I don't like the combat animations. I find the combat sluggish at best. I don't think it's easy to really see where your landing blows on targets. God. Oh god. Like a pixel game. I'm gonna keep trying to get into Neverwinter, right? On the Archer. Actually, don't. Let me check my Hotmail account. Let's see if they responded. They did respond saying they got my support ticket, but I haven't seen them say that they've actually done anything about it. Yeah, see here. Greeting from Elder Scrolls. Where is it? Hold on a second. Customer service. Shit. Henry Cavill. No, I don't care about that. So it would come from Art Games. See, Art Games said, your request has been received and is being reviewed. That's the last thing I got from them. Ooh, Epic Games Mega Sale. That is the last thing I got from them. But we still haven't gotten an update on my ticket. So I'm sure that I'm going to go in here and try to play this Gmod for toddlers. Yeah, I could never play a game like that. I'm sure we'll go in here and try to play this Ranger, and it'll just the dash is gonna, bug out. It was funny. I even tried resetting all the controls back to normal, and it still doesn't work. I reinstalled the game, still doesn't work. But if I play a cleric, the dash works just fine. So that's what blows my mind. Like what the hell, So very strange. So I changed the title of this stream to MMO Searching. Will we find an MMO worth playing? I hate how it wants me to click the key. So here's the problem: is if I dash, it gets bugged. Hasn't bugged yet, but it will get bugged. Well, still hasn't gotten bugged. I just keep dashing because I'm waiting for it to bug out. Maybe it'll work. We'll try. Okay, we'll try it this time to see how long it goes before it bugs me out.
As you can see, the fight is not yet won. You've proven yourself quite capable. So I must ask for your help with a concerning matter. They've just received a report of fighting in the vaults beneath the Hall of Justice.
The Hall of Justice
was down there doing research. Zuna, Makos, and I must remain here to defend the Enclave. Therefore...
Well, this horse is not very fast. He's got one hell of a wide butt. And he doesn't... I did a good job creating the look of this character. I mean, the characters in Neverwinter aren't the best looking characters in the world. So we'll see how long it takes before my dash key gets bugged out. Well, I think that's part of it, Brohagony. That's part of it, is that we have played these types of MMOs for so long that we've evolved. But certain MMOs have come out that have forced us to evolve. And games like, I have a hard time playing World of Warcraft because of the fact that the art style is so old, and that the combat, even though I like the combat, it's very dated. Like, I love games where I have the mouse look like this, right? I just move my mouse left and right. I don't have to right click on the screen. All right, let's see if we can bug out my dash. Oh no, we still haven't bugged it out yet.
The Dashers taking advantage of the chaos.
Man, my mouse look speed is super fast.
The Seers down there.
It's not
under guard. You have to stop them.
Yeah, it's a little better. It's still pretty fast. No, we haven't bugged out my dash yet. But I think... See, like here I can do the alt. Here we can do alt. Let's see what else. We can do... See, alt in this game takes me to this view, which, is what I usually expect alt or control to do that. That's why ESO was freaking me out. Yeah, EverQuest and Anarchy. I don't know how you play EverQuest, man. I think for someone who never played it when it first came out, trying to play it now, it's just, oh god, it's a horrible experience. I mean, it's just the graphics and the way the characters move, So, but if we talk about... Number one, solid graphics. I know people say that you don't need good graphics, but for me, I need solid graphics. MMO has to have you know, good graphics. Now, if you talk about what are good graphics in an MMO, I would actually, what are good graphics in any open world game? And I would point you to, you know, I mean, Guild Wars 2 has great graphics. I mean, I even like what game? What's my favorite? Like even Lord of the Rings had better graphics than a lot of the games I play. Like Lord of the Rings Online actually had pretty decent, surprisingly, had pretty decent graphics. You know, Black Desert has nice graphics. Justice Online has amazing graphics. You know, what kind of graphics would I want to see in an M? I actually like some of the anime style ones too. I think I like graphics that are very realistic, like more like realistic looking. So I'm trying to think what. Really, Guild Wars 2 has some of the nicest graphics, I think, for armor. I'm talking about like in-game armor, looks pretty good. You know, some of this stuff's pretty neat looking. Some of the retail stuff in WoW looks pretty good. Like retail WoW has pretty good armor. So what else does an MMO? So really, it has to have solid graphics. These aren't in any order, right, guys? This list I'm making here is not in any specific order, but it's like solid graphics. Okay, let's do that. Let's say, what games do I think have good graphics? Black Desert. All right. Guild Wars 2. Well, the graphics, to me, the graphics matter quite a bit. Because the world, to me, to be immersive, has to look nice. It just has to look nice. It can't look like shit. So I can't walk around and see blocks and pixelation. It drives me nuts. It's just the way I am. I don't like it. It's not immersive. It's one of the biggest things for me in an MMO is for it to be immersive, for me to feel like it's a real world. Even Skyrim, and I'm going to put Skyrim in here because Skyrim had, you know, when you update Skyrim's to the higher res textures, it looks beautiful. Skyrim has great graphics. It's not an MMO, but it's very similar to an MMO. It has that kind of, you know, it's an open world fantasy-based game, right? Skyrim, and then I would say Justice Online. Oh my god, Justice Online has amazing graphics. Really good graphics. A lot of the Eastern MMOs have that, and there's a few others. You could go into like Moonlight Blade or, you know, even like some other ones, but Rift, I liked Rift at the time, but it's starting to look dated. The graphics are pretty good, but it's starting to look dated. And the other thing is, too, for me, and so this list for me is going to be interesting. Animations, you know, solid animations. You know, I mean, combat animations, walk animations, climbing animations, resting, at rest animations. You know, all of these things. And again, we talk about this stuff all the time, right? And this stuff is not super difficult stuff. In today's day, you know, day and age is not that difficult. What is it? Come on. Okay, so, you know, like I said, in today's day and age, it's not difficult to have decent animation in these games, right? So, here we've got what they call a rifle punch. This is like if this character had a rifle in their arm and they're going to, you know, like, well, we could change the arm space here. We can make it closer together. We could do the punch height. Maybe this would be shooting my rifle up higher in the air. These are all, you know, free animations we can assign to our character models. Stabbing, you know. So there's really no excuse, you know, for not having decent animations. Where's, like, let's check out this dying animation. It's pretty dramatized, but it's pretty funny. Let's go back to page 1 here. Jumping. Let's see how this jumping animation looks. That's jumping down. But that, you know, just that animation right there of like being on kind of like a ledge and jumping down to the ground looks better than most MMOs I've seen. Yeah, ESO's animation is terrible. I couldn't believe how poor the jump animation was in ESO, right? Where's just a plain old here? We can probably gotta search. Capoeira, that's awesome. Boxing, pistol. That's a weird one. Here's a basic walking animation. But so, animations aren't that difficult to put together, right? You can certainly like go to Mixamo and get some, and you can use those freely, I believe. So side animations, walking animations, climb animations, at-rest animations. I mean, the list could go on. Spell animations, attack animations. I mean, these are super important. Super important, right? UI. How many times have we played a game that has a shitty UI? Like, really bad UI. Like, a non-intuitive UI. Now, when I think about UIs, like Guild Wars 2 in my opinion, has a great UI. Super easy to use, great map. Fantastic map, great mini-map. You can edit the UI, move stuff around, I'm trying to think if it was Guild Wars 2 that has the edit. I believe it is. I love it when they have like a button that just says edit UI and you just edit the layout of everything. If they include that in the UI, I'm always really happy. Like a button you just click and you just drag everything around. Bars, mini map, targeting windows, and it's just all freely draggable. Rift has that as well. In Rift, you can completely customize your UI. So UI is super important. And then spell effects. So we talked about animations. I'm gonna put the particle effects, right? And the particle effects aren't really animations. They're more like when I cast a spell, what does it look like? If I cast a fireball, how good does the fire look? How good do the colors look? So really particle effects with spells, and even, weapons colliding, with people, blood, sparks, etc. And the other thing that people don't, that I like, for me anyway, I mean, you have to have good lore, right? Good lore. So the game has to have a good story behind it. So lore, the story of the world and its races and its zones / regions, world. I could go into that forever, but the game has to have good lore. It's got to have a good story. It has to have a good story. It's got to have races and a story behind them. Why one race doesn't like another race. What does one race do to make money? What does one race do to live? How do they live? And how are they different than the other races? What type of armor do they wear? Do they use wood to build buildings? Or do they use brick? Or do they use, who knows, diamonds? I don't know. They could use anything, right? And these are, like I said, this is in no particular order. And let's another thing I'd like to do is what do we MMOs do bad? In today's world, do badly. Number 1, quest, dailies. So boring, repetitive, boring, repetitive, non-imaginative quests. Dailies. Oh my god, dailies? I don't want to see one fucking daily in any MMO I play. Period. Right? I don't want to see a daily. How is that, in any way, immersive into a world? Why would I do a daily? Oh, today we're going to do the, repeatable dailies. Let me say repeatable. Right? I don't ever want to see repeatable dailies, ever. Can't the world tell the story through gameplay? Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can do it that, yeah. You can totally tell a story through the world. You don't have to have. It doesn't, yeah. I mean, you can Skyrim, you can go around and find books and pick up a book and read it, and that's telling you about the story, and that's playing the game in interaction. In fact, I prefer it that way, Brohogany. I mean, I like when you're walking down the street, you go to an inn and you talk to people in the inn and they tell you about the town or what's happening. I prefer that to any, like, I mean, to me, like, what would be a great MMO, and the way I would create an MMO, is that there would be, like, nothing. Like, here, let's, my MMO, right? So, Cav's MMO. And we already have it, right? I've already got my MMO. It's called, right? So here's my MMO. I already have the name of it, the World of Wassler. So, okay, what the player knows going into logging in for the first time. You know what races there are. What the world called. Rotate. Maybe some very little detail about the races and type of combat system, type of game world, i.e. high fantasy or sci-fi, etc. And that's about it. So that's all I would tell people. Like, I would never go into explaining my game or advertising my game like other companies do, where they show you videos of the world and characters. I might show some video of you walking through the world so you have an idea of what it looks like, but I would never tell you much about the world. I'm not going to tell you, like, what your monsters are you're going to run into. I might show you maybe a few, like, non-descriptive monsters. I wouldn't show you any trolls or anything like that. I wouldn't give you any details on anything specific. There'd be nothing about skills. There'd be nothing about powers. There'd be nothing about... I would show you visually. I might show a character casting some sort of a spell, but I wouldn't tell what it was, and I wouldn't explain it, and I wouldn't list it on any website, right? So my MMO would be just like, okay, here's a high fantasy MMO, right? That has a very large open world with no loading zones, no instances, no zoning, right? No zoning. You might have dungeons or something that might be instance, but preferably I would not make them instance. And that would just be something that would be kind of unique, and that if you went into a dungeon, there might be something there might not. I don't think I would do instance, so no instancing. I would tell you, like, here's the races, here's the name of the world, and it's high fantasy, and it's completely open. There's no limitations to, like, where you can go in the world. If you can traverse the mountain and make your way up it, you can go there, right? And I would say that the world does have active events. There's going to be things that actively happen, that might dynamic events. No questing. You will never see an exclamation point above anybody's head. You will never see a question mark above anybody's head. Okay? Now, that's not to say there's not going to be quests, like objectives that you might want to do, right? But it's not going to be a quest. It's not going to be like, oh, I know if I go here, this person's going to have a quest. Now, if you played the game with a certain race and you went to a certain town at a certain time, and then somebody else played the game and picked the same race and went to a certain town at a certain time, they may be able to talk to someone and end up getting the same objective. But I'm not really going to call it. I didn't really want it to log me out. But I'm not going to have the normal questing systems. Have you tried Pantheon Rise of Fallen? Hey, game's not out yet, Zyron. So this is about all in my game that I would tell you about. You would have to go in there and play the game and figure it all out. There's no map. Like, when you go into the game, you hit the M key, nothing happens. There is no world map, right? Everything weighs, like, you may be able to have bags that have, that you have bags that aren't going to be based on, like, slots. So your bags, you can put as much stuff as you want in the bag, but it's based on weight. So if you want to put 1,000 straws in your bag, that's fine. It doesn't weigh that much, right? But if you want to put 2 large gold bars in your bag, well, guess what? Your bag is now at a certain weight, and you can't put anything else in it. You know what I mean? So it would be more based on weight. Gear degrades. Gear does not last forever unless it's magical. Magical gear would be extremely rare. Extremely rare, right? You know, you wouldn't just go around. You might level from 1 to, you know, and actually I'm sorry. There are no levels in the game, right? There's no levels. There's just aptitude, right? So there's no levels. Magic items are ultra rare. Magic users or spellcasters are also ultra rare. You're going to spend more of your time trying to figure out how to get enough money so that you can actually buy yourself a good sword that isn't a piece of shit, you know? You might spend time learning how to be a crafter just so you can make a decent sword. Not a magical sword, just a decent sword that's straight, that has a sharp edge. It doesn't break when you swing it, you know? I don't like procedurally generated worlds, bro, Hagany. I don't like procedurally generated worlds right now because I don't think that they're done very well. I don't have a problem with procedurally generated worlds as long as the whole game isn't procedurally generated, because the way the systems are right now is that you usually have to set up a specific set of criteria to procedurally generate. If you think of like No Man's Sky and all the worlds in No Man's Sky, you know, it's that whole thing with No Man's Sky. They were procedurally generated with a certain set of criteria that it randomly used. And they tried to give it some parameters to keep those random, you know, things that they were using to randomly generate the world within a certain realm of it's still going to look like a world you might want to actually explore, right? And here's the problem with procedurally generated worlds. Okay, so when No Man's Sky was coming out, everybody saw this video, right? A gameplay trailer from E3 2014 for No Man's Sky, right?
To Jurassic Park.
So this is what their trailer looked like, and everybody's like, "Wow, look, it's No Man's Sky. It looks fantastic, right?" Now get ready, and now we're going to see what it really looked like. That's what the worlds really look like when the game came out, because they were using procedural generation, and so they had parameters specified. So it's one of the parameters they had specified is they could develop these different creatures. Could have, like, they'd say, oh, this creature might have the hooves of a cow, right? Or it might have the head of a dinosaur. But they could mix and match those things. Well, they didn't really have enough time to fine-tune this stuff. They slapped it together because the publishers pushed them to rush this game out there, which is no fault really of their own. So do I think procedural generation is possible? Yes, I do. But if it's not done correctly, Brohagny, then it's not going to be very good. You know, it has to be done correctly, and it takes time, and you have to set the parameters correctly. I don't think I would want to see a world where everything's procedurally generated. But I do think you can do it. But remember, even if you're doing the procedurally generated, you're still going to have to take the time to tweak it. You're going to have to tweak all those parameters. So by the time you tweak all those parameters and get it right, maybe you could have just hand placed the stuff. You know what I mean? You can. So I'm not against procedural. So I guess the answer is I'm not against it, Brohagny. I just think that it has to be done correctly. I think people have to be very careful about how they do it. What was that? Oh, anyways. So yeah, in my game, no levels, no character levels really. You would have, maybe you were just a peasant. You start the game. I am having the hardest time typing today. Okay, my game's going to have probably I wanted to have about 8 races. I don't know how many I would have if I ever created this game. But let's say race 1, right? something like that. You could basically you'd have different races and different based on different areas that you grow up, or you might have different various bonuses to certain stats. These things, I'd have to iron these things out, but that would be what you wouldn't have like special abilities like, oh, you can walk on water because you're this race. There might be something in there. Would the game have a holy trinity? No, not really. It wouldn't really have a holy trinity, so it would be like, okay, so the holy it could have the holy trinity. So it would have damage. Okay, so there would be damage dealers, right? Damage dealers, yes. Casters, yes. People who could heal, yes. So does that mean it has a holy trinity? I guess. But, it's more likely that you wouldn't have people that could heal, because the way the game would be set up is that you would actually have to progress and play the game for quite a while. Maybe someone played the game for 2 or 3 months to actually get to the point where they really could discover something like some earth magic, right? Like some earth magic that would allow them to maybe cast some sort of a spell that would help heal people. Or maybe there would be a life skill that they learned, like alchemy and potions, and they discovered a recipe of some sort of elixir of life or something that they were able to concoct that would help, heal people. So, but as far as a regular Holy Trinity, it wouldn't. No, I think the answer to that really is no, because you would be playing the game an awful lot before you ever had people in your group probably that were able to really heal you. Now, down the road, of course, eventually over time, when people acquire these abilities, then I think the Holy Trinity would start to pop up. And you'd have people that are like, hey, I want to get in a group. And this person will say, hey, I know earth magic. And I can actually cast this spell that'll help heal you. And they'd be like, well, shit, I want you in my group. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess it would have the Holy Trinity, but it wouldn't be the standard Holy Trinity of when you create the game, you say, well, I want to be a healer. That, it wouldn't be like that. And actually character creation choices, race. Here's your choices when you create a character. What race are you? What sex are you? Done. That's it. Right? So you pick a race, you pick a sex, and off you go. So it's more of like an open kind of like an open class system. Now I may integrate something where pick 3 life skills that you have learned up to this point, up to this point in your life, right? Or maybe pick a backstory, which, if you picked, beggar, maybe you are good at, persuasion or something, so, or, and the life skills. Oh, shield skill. Sneak. Cooking. Basic bandaging. These would be like some of the life skills that maybe I would let people like pick off the beginning. And if you picked those, it would only give you like a leg up. It would be like, well, if you picked sword skill, you would have a basic understanding of how to swing a sword. So you would be able to go into combat with a sword and have a couple basic, just, swing your sword without, stabbing yourself in your foot. You might pick pickpocket, and then you'd be able to go into town, and if you were really poor and you didn't have any food, you might try to pick somebody's pocket, and you would have a fair chance of succeeding. You might have sneak, where you could sneak past some guards to break into somebody's house. You might have cooking, where you could go to a baker and maybe buy some stuff and create some food that you could take with you on your journey that wouldn't spoil and would actually be useful out of combat that you could eat and heal up. So basically, healing in fights would be a real issue in this game. So like when you go into battle and you get injured, you would have to really evaluate, do you want to risk keep going? Like, let's say you fight a few monsters, and maybe you take a couple blows, and you've only got like 5 health left out of your base, 15 health. And you're like, well, do I want to keep going on through the dungeon, and do I want to rest and eat and try to recover my health? You could push your luck and say, yeah, let's keep going, I'm fine. But then you might go around the next corner, find another mob, and boom, he hits you a crit, and you're dead. The game wouldn't be permadeath. I mean, you would die and you would just, resurrect. But there would be some penalties for death. There probably would be an experience penalty. Like when you die, you would lose experience points. So, and you would have to. There wouldn't be a corpse run because I'm not a big fan of corpse runs, really. But when you die, you would have to. I would say if you die, you would just have to walk to your corpse. It'd be like the closest graveyard. You'd be a corpse, kind of like in World of Warcraft. You just walk to where your body is, and you'd kind of resurrect there. And but you wouldn't like drop stuff on the ground and lose it like you do in like some of the hardcore PvP games. But I prefer MMO that has a class system or a class. I kind of prefer classless systems, to be honest. And you could start out as a filthy peasant, Brohagony. You could definitely do that. And in fact, a lot of the stuff I base on my game that I want to make is based off of Stormbringer. It's based off the Stormbringer board role-playing game. And in Stormbringer, beggar was a class in Stormbringer. You could start off as a beggar. So they're definitely, but yeah, but I mean, these are just some of my ideas. I have way, way, way more. So you would have, critical. You would have critical hits, and critical misses. And I think critical misses is super fun. So critical miss. Let's say the way I can computate a critical miss in the game is I say you are a level 1, player who has a basic sword skill of level 1, right? Okay, so your chance to have a critical miss versus a level 5 kobold, because I know you guys all like kobolds, is, I don't know, 3%, right? Let's say, just for fun, we'll say 2.5%. Behind the scenes, my program's gonna roll. We'll roll 1 dice, 100. Random. 100, right? It's going to give me a 1 to 100. Make it 2. If this number is 1 or 2, the game engine will roll again. 1 to 100. 1 die 100. Random 100. If it rolls a 1 or a 2 again, this is a critical miss. Okay? And then you have a table of possible critical miss effects. And these are fun. And I've never seen this in any MMO. I have never seen this in a single MMO, and I would definitely put this in mine. Sword breaks. Your sword breaks and is useless. 2. Next one. Sword slips out of your hand and flies in a random direction. This means you got to walk over and pick it up while the mob's attacking you. You hit your nearby party member. Doing, we'll say a quarter, 1%, 20% normal damage to him. You hit yourself. We'll knock it down to 10%. We'll just do something odd, say 18%. So these would be possible options that would have on a critical miss. And You know, and then other things we could add to the, I mean, just we're trying to add flavor to the game. We're trying to add stuff in an MMO that's never really been done before. It's going to make the game more entertaining and more fun and give more variety. You know, these types of things exist in a lot of role-playing games, but they don't exist in MMOs, which is sad. Another thing I would put in would be armor degradation, you know, due to weather effects. And of course, just gear, you know, gear maintenance. If you don't take time to, you know, to sharpen your weapon and stuff, it gets dull and it starts to do less damage. If you walk through a swamp in your armor and you don't take the time to clean it, then eventually your armor starts to lose its durability a lot faster and becomes less effective. You know, and I would just add stuff in the systems. I would add, you know, add life skills into the game, like sharpened sword, clean armor, clean and polished armor. And these would just be basic life skills that certain players would take the time to learn. You know, and if you're in the game and, you know, in between, you might have to take the time to actually open up, you know, grab your weapon. You know, it's like, oh man, my sword's getting dull, and you'd actually have to trade with the other player and give it to him, and he'd take the sword and he'd sharpen it for you. He'd pull out his sharpening stone, sharpen it, give it back to you. If your armor's, you know, lost its, you know, effectiveness, you could go back to town, go to your own house that you own that has your supplies in it, maybe clean your armor, maybe repair any damages to it, and repair the durability on it, or you could just basically sell it and, you know, buy a new set or something like that. Well, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, some of these systems, like the critical miss, would really turn a lot of people off. I think a lot of people would hate that, and I think that's fine. Well, there's really no other way to do it other than RNG. I mean, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do a critical miss? I mean, it's got to be RNG, right? I mean, how does WoW calculate? See, the thing is, World of Warcraft doesn't do that, because World of Warcraft, you don't miss. I mean, well, actually, you do miss. I'm sorry, you do miss, but let's face it, at level 60, you don't really miss too much, right? When you're at level 60 and you're all capped out and all your gear, when you swing, you pretty much always hit. But at low levels, when you're like have a sword skill of really low, you do miss quite often. But in most MMOs, you really don't miss that much. But there is RNG in MMOs, and you do miss. I mean, there are, you know, MMOs where you miss, and that's RNG. Sometimes you swing and you hit, sometimes you don't. I mean, that's pure RNG. There's damage calculation. Every time you hit somebody in World of Warcraft, it's doing RNG. Because if it wasn't, the damage number would be exactly the same every single time. So MMOs are built on RNG, really. So adding in something else that's basically just RNG, it's really not, to me, it doesn't really affect. I mean, people take it a different way, and they look at it in a negative light. Oh my god, my sword broke. It took me a week to craft this. Well, too fucking bad. To me, it's more realistic. It adds a level of realism to the game. You know, I like it. Like I said, I would piss off a lot of people. The game that I would make would piss off a lot of people. There'd be a lot of people who would not like it, because it would be a lot more realistic and a lot more difficult. It'd be a lot more challenging, and in my opinion, it'd be a lot more fun. But, you know, to each his own. How many times do I have to run through this beginning? Yeah, see, I knew as soon as I let it log out and I came back in, the dash would get bugged. See, now it's all fucking bugged. I knew that would happen. I knew that would happen. Well, I uninstalled most of my games today, so all we have is Elder Online, which sucks, by the way. We got Skyrim, which I don't feel like playing. We got Neverwinter, which is bugged, so we can't play that. Dungeons & Dragons Online, Lord of the Rings Online, Reign of Darkness. Yeah, no, that's cool. I don't seem to be able to. I'm not sure what's going on. There's no login here. That was weird. Well, I can't seem to play this wonderful game because, well, hold on a second. Because I don't see a login. All I see is an exit button. I can't be too mean on this guy. There are like 2 guys developing this game. But yeah, I don't think we can play this game. All we have is an exit button. Oh yeah, well, I didn't really want to play Reign of Darkness anyway. Yeah, and I agree 100%. Yeah, I would never, like, Bro Hackney, I would never, like, create my MMO and release it without talking to, you guys and I've got a friend at work who's really smart about those types of, he's really good at devil's advocate, He's really good at playing devil's advocate, so I would never, ever try to make a game and say this is the final version and throw it out there for people to play without really running through a lot of, getting advice from a lot of people and playtesters, because I come up with ideas all the time that to me sound good, and then someone plays devil's advocate, well, what about this or this? Then I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that idea I had is total crap. That sucks. So I totally 100% agree with you. And I think, are you heading out? I'll see you, man. Have a good one. I'm gonna probably play a little bit of some Skyforge, I think.
Congratulations. You can now access the Tower of Knowledge.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, I definitely, like I said, I agree with what you're saying, and I think that you have to really think about these things. They sound good on paper, but a lot of times they don't work in an MMO, and I think the critical miss system is something that no MMO's ever done, at least not that I've seen, and I think a lot of people wouldn't like it, but I just think it'd be really fun. I would love to see in the middle of a dungeon when you're just about to down a boss that your tank swings and misses and hits the healer and kills him. I just think that would be hilarious. But I know a lot of people that probably wouldn't think that's hilarious. Oh, so I can't do this one yet. It says this one after you complete the Temple of Knowledge, so I have to do the Temple of Knowledge quest. Oof. I hate it when they gate you like that, when you're like, oh, you can't. So where's the Temple of Knowledge?
Calls for help detected. Recommended behavior model. Rescuing mortals.
Eliminate the enemies playing as a paladin. I'm not sure what that is. Open the capital tab in the campaign menu. Capital tab in the campaign menu. How do I open the campaign menu? Yeah, and this game would be an example of a game that I don't like the UI. Yeah, the UI in this game is really weird. I don't even know. Again, I don't even know how to release my mouse to kind of get through some of this stuff. But community, market, character. Here's campaign. Okay, so we want to go here, but how do I get there?
If they disperse this pollen over the city, we'll suffocate.
Quiet, you. Calm
So
down.
apparently,
That's not gonna
I'm
happen.
here, I guess.
Gods won't allow it. Let's go over there to Flavius's hologram. It's quieter there.
How do I get there? I'm at the Divine Observatory. This will take me to the research center. The research center is... I have no idea where. This, F8. Reward for logging in. See ya, bro Hagen. You have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, man. And then here we have campaign. How do I get here?
Insufficient memory space, archiving data.
I guess I just had to do all of this. Weird. It's so weird. I just had to go through these interfaces and click on things and read stuff, and then eventually this next leg of the quest path opened up. Very bizarre.
You see, our squad was scouting the area at Iana's command. We expected to find Verd here, but had no idea what they'd been doing, carrying out dark rituals. We pushed deeper into the island, and suddenly ghostly hands started to emerge from the ground. They caught us off guard, and that's when Verd took the opportunity to attack. They killed most of our squad and dragged the survivors to their burrows. We had to fall back. Some of our men may have survived. Try to find them and make those creatures pay.
Okay. Weird how the graphics are so bad. Sometimes see it right there when I zoomed in, they kind of increased in quality. Here they're like more pixelated. And you look at her leg armor, and then right there you just see he's got some LOD maps in here. That's once we get closer to my character, the detail, the graphical quality goes up. So here we've got some sort of type personal tools. It's really trying to get me to use this mount, and I really don't care much about it. And here it's trying to get me some stuff to buy. I don't know. Buy stuff. Health bonus 21%. Health bonus 1%. I'm not sure which one's better.
insufficient memory space, archiving data. Active caution mode.
Light hands are healing your enemies. Run into them to heal yourself.
This creature killed our men. Watch out for the axe.
When standing in fire, you are probably burning. Just in case you haven't noticed already. Burning does you no good. Get out of the flames.
The bird know you are coming. Be careful.
Hey, what's up, Brandon? Why are you proud to be Brandon?
Probability of victory decreased.
New skill, huh?
Updates downloaded. Rebooting the system. Please wait.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Brandon.
Switching to grief mode.
We barely caught our breath after the first wave when this monster appeared. It tore one of our men apart.
The carry-on is about to hide. Destroy its burrow.
Evasive maneuver failed.
Don't let the carrion hide in the burrow. Destroy it.
They surrounded us and drove us towards the center of the island. I don't remember escaping.
Hey, what's
I
up,
can
Rack?
still
We haven't
see
seen you in a
those
while.
orders.
What MMO am I looking most forward to? Thanks again, Brandon. Well, I say this and it's kind of scary. I would say Crimson Desert I'm most looking forward to. The only thing is that one, actually two. There's two that I'm looking forward to. Crimson Desert because of the graphics. And I know the combat system will be good. And they say they're adding PvE, but what I'm worried about with Crimson Desert is the fact that it's Pearl Abyss. And they're very good at making games grindy, and they're very good at monetizing games. So definitely looking forward to that game, to Crimson Desert. But I'm also scared because of the fact that it could be monetized. But I would say the other one would be Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. I am actually really looking forward to Pantheon Rise of the Fallen because of the community, because there's some people that are really into that game that I really like, that I think are really good people. And I think that could be a really fun game to play with other people, with Nathan Napalm from the Nathan Napalm channel and Minus from the Pantheon Plus channel, YouTube channels. And I think that would be really cool. And I like the old school feel they're going with it. The thing about the Pantheon Plus I don't like is I don't really like the graphics, and the combat looks really boring. But if the game is done a certain way, it still will be really, really fun. And I think the community aspect of it and the more hard mode that it has, like, with coins having weight and running out of weight to be able to carry stuff, and having mobs that require you, having bosses that require you to use CC and stuff so the group doesn't get killed and stuff like that is really cool. I like those types of mechanics. And then the other one actually I'm looking forward to is Ascent Infinite Realm, which has been renamed to Elion. And the reason I'm really looking forward to Elion is because it's made by the guys who made, En Masse, the guys who made Terra. And when they came out with Ascent Infinite Realm, the first version, let's see if I can... When they came out with Ascent Infinite Realm at first, it was... The graphics were okay, but the gameplay was kind of boring,
Ascent Infinite Realm is a brand new steampunk MMO.
So when you look at Ascent Infinite Realm, the graphics are like, they're like pretty good. I think it's Unreal Engine 3 even. I don't even think it's 4. I could be wrong on that. But the graphics, it kind of looks a lot like Bless Online looked. I mean, even the UI and stuff here looks like Bless Online. But what I liked about it was that the graphics weren't too bad. They were good enough. Like, the customization was pretty decent. But they decided to take the game back to the drawing board because of the bad feedback they were getting. And Ascent Infinite Realm had these vehicles you could fly and do like kind of aerial combat. But they found out that the vehicles were, the aerial combat wasn't really that great. It was kind of like how Ion had really cool with flying abilities, but if you were a melee, it was difficult because the ranged classes could hit you at range very easily. Where if you were melee, you had to actively fly up to them, so it was very difficult. It's kind of that similar type of thing going on, I think, with Ascent Infinite Realm. But I think, Enmasi has a really great track record of creating a really good action combat system, one of the best action combat systems, which is Terra. And so they're taking this game back to the drawing board and trying to do more focus on PvE and not so much the flying aspect of the game. And that's why they renamed it to Ilion, and hopefully they're working on an action combat system. So I'm really excited about where this game could go. As far as the Amazon game, oh, yeah, the Amazon, New World. Yeah, I actually played New World. I played Amazon's MMO. I played New World, and it was fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. A few days ago. So if you look here, let's see what this guy has to say.
Really kind of an interesting roller coaster for me personally. So I completely skipped it. It's become one of my most anticipated games of 2020. I am excited to see this game release because I'm just liking more and more and more of it. They brought in some fantasy elements, whereas the original one was more of a realism.
Yeah, the original game was more PvP. And then they say now they're kind of getting away from the PvP in New World, and Amazon's New World, they're going to go more PvE, which pissed off all the hardcore PvP players. But honestly, the way they were going with New Worlds, it would have just been kind of a gangfest PvP. It would have been good for people who like that kind of stuff. I'm not one of those people. So it's not something, I mean, I liked the graphics in Amazon's New World is really, really good. Really nice graphics, really good level design, beautiful foliage and trees, and the animations are pretty good. They're pretty good. The combat was also pretty good, but there was a lot of bugs that needed to be worked out. And the enemy AI was really poor. And they didn't have a lot of stuff in the game as far as PvE. There weren't a lot of different types of mobs you could even fight. It was more like building up your kind of your forts and kind of defending them against other players, and that was about all they had, and maybe fighting other players in the open world PvP wise. But let's take a look and see. They have gone back to the drawing board on this one as well as Amazon. Now this is supposed to come out, and I've already bought Amazon's New World. It's already in my Steam account. So as soon as the game releases, I already have the game, and I actually played in one of the alphas early on. So I actually played the game quite a while ago, like I don't know, like 8 months back. I played it, and I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty fun. Like I said, I really was impressed by the graphics, and I was really impressed by the level design. I felt like it was really nice. Huge, big, like hills that you could go up and down, and big valleys and beautiful rivers that you could kind of walk through, and lots of beautiful flowers and grasses and trees, and just really nice
style game. So I'm a big fantasy guy, as you guys know, and this really hit the nail on the head for me personally. So why? What really did they release? What did they talk about that kind of threw this thing back into the mix for me? Well, first and foremost, it was Corrupted Breaches. Now, Corrupted Breaches, these are like rifts from the game Rift. You guys remember the MMO Rift, but these come with kind of this new worldian twist, right? So breaches are going to appear across zones and slowly become more and more powerful, and more of them will appear if no one deals with them. So it's like a bad disease. If you don't go out and kind of take care of it, then it's only going to get worse. And these breaches are guarded by cultists and something called an acolyte of corruption. That's similar to basically a Rift boss on steroids. So these creatures travel fast, they deal massive amounts of damage, they're able to shoot like lightning bolts, they're able to summon these orbs of use and Azoth and that are there, and materials can be crafted into some of the most powerful boss. And
you can see here some of the graphics I was talking about. They're really nice. Really nice trees, nice foliage, and like I said, very hilly. The world has a lot of beautiful big stones and rocks and streams and a lot of hills. A lot of MMOs feel very flat to me, but New World is not like that. New World always feels like you're going up and down hills.
and working together as a team in order to kill this thing. So I'm really looking forward to doing that and taking those things on. Now, the second thing I'm stoked about is War, which is a PvP mode where other players kind of invade your territory and engage in a 50 versus 50 battle where the winner claims that territory for themselves. Okay, so confession time, I'm not a big PvP player when it comes to MMOs. I am terrible at PvP in MMOs. My PvP stuff relies on like FPS. I'm really good at those shooters. I can do that all day. But when it comes to like World of Warcraft, ESO, WildStar was the only one that I was actually somewhat decent at. But PvP and MMOs, I'm just bad because there's just so much going on and I'm just clicking things. It's just terrible. But anyway, looking at War in New World looks extremely exciting because the whole process of it.
Yeah, actually, watching this video makes me want to play it more, Rackery. The thing is, they were talking about the PvE, and I remember them kind of teasing the Rift thing. At first, they were saying wave of zombies and the enemy creatures would come and attack you, and that sounded like, yeah, whatever. But now they're saying that it's rifts that are going to spread. I didn't hear that, where if the rifts weren't dealt with, that they would actually get worse and the disease would spread, so to speak, and it would become more and more difficult. And I think that's really cool, especially if players group together with other players who normally would be their enemies to deal with the ongoing rift problem in their area because it could damage their structures. So hopefully the rifts, the enemies attack, well, they're going to attack your holdings, your buildings that you've had to craft. You've had to go chop down trees, and it takes not a long time, but it does take a while. And what you do in Amazon's New World is you kind of like you did in EverQuest Landmark, you have different grades of axes. So you might start off with a wooden axe that you crafted, right? With just some stone and a piece of wood, and you made a wood axe. And then after a while, you chopped down some trees. You made yourself a stone like pick, you know what I mean? And you would go mine some ore, and then as you found better ore, you would make a better pick. And as you got down better types of wood, you would make better axes with the better stone that you were getting. So the wood was better, the stone was better, and so you would upgrade. And the better axes and the better picks just don't wear out as fast, right? So I really enjoyed the crafting and the chopping down trees and the mining in this game, which I know is funny, but just chopping it down. And I wish I still had some videos of that. I used to actually have videos of me doing it. Let me take a look. If I can remember my Twitter login, because I just don't use Twitter hardly at all, but if I can remember my Twitter login, I probably have some pictures on my Twitter. Let's see. I never use Twitter. Where's like my media, right? Oh, messages, profile, more. I don't even look at like stuff I guess here's the stuff I've posted on my Twitter. Oh, well, unfortunately my Twitter always posts my YouTube videos. When I post a video on YouTube, it posts it, which is really, that kind of sucks. It's gonna be an awful lot because I post a lot of videos on YouTube. So as you can see, there's just videos after videos after videos. I should basically disable that. Here we go, media. Here we go. How about well, it'll take too long to find it, but I actually put up some really nice pictures of me playing the game. And yeah, it's just too bad that my Twitter account is like that. But anyways, yeah, I think New World, now that they're doing these rifts, which I knew they were doing something like that, I didn't know that they would come out and they would get more and more difficult. And I think that's pretty cool. So I think that's definitely, I'm definitely going to play it, Rackery. I'm definitely going to play Amazon New World. So that'll be cool. Anyways, I got to take a break though. I have to use the bathroom, so I will be right back.
Reminder, regular warranty maintenance required.
Anyways, it looks like everybody's disappeared from the stream, so they must not like Skyforge. Can't blame them. This game's pretty... I don't think the skill in Skyforge is really there.
Insufficient memory space, archiving data. Combat log created. Active caution mode. Extreme caution recommended. Dangerous enemy neutralized.
Oh, look at that. Big ass skeleton. That's pretty neat. What's that noise? So cool. I guess we'll find out. I'm not sure what that noise is. Know what that noise is. Testing. Find out.
Activating afterburning mode. Probability of victory decreased. updates downloaded. Rebooting the system. Please wait.
This creature feeds on corpses. They tried to force us right into its jaws. Please destroy it.
Threat level, maximum.
Bright hand summoned by the Death Ravager heal, and the Dark Ones inflict damage. Make sure to remember that.
remember you. Aren't you tired of getting in my way yet? Or do you think I won't kill you this time?
Evasive maneuver failed.
How dare you kill my servants! When I'm done with you, you will be sorry!
Were you going to start without me? You'll be the only one dead today, although it's too bad you won't stay that way.
Then I'll kill you both. And when you resurrect, I'll kill you again. And I'll keep doing it until you crawl away in shame.
You shouldn't have underestimated me. Feel my wrath.
I have no time for
system
this.
components.
But one day
Efficiency
I'll catch you off
100%.
guard, and then you'll pay dearly for crossing me.
Wrong direction. Anyways, so this stream's been pretty bad. Sorry guys, it's just I've not been able to find an MMO that can keep my interest. Fortunately.
He wasn't joking. Now you have a powerful enemy. I suggest you start getting ready for that promised encounter. It's simple enough. Fight invaders, help mortals, and they will believe in you. Their faith makes you stronger. The more people believe in you, the stronger you are. We'll see what that bastard will say then. My name is Zentara. I've been tracking down the gravedigger for a while. He has escaped this time, so there's no point to linger here. You must be pretty busy too.
The next time you can go on this adventure with a group of up to 3 people, just like any other squad adventure.
I have some good news. Some people who are grateful to you have established a sanctuary in your honor. I believe it will turn into a magnificent cathedral someday.
Yeah, this game's weird. How you like do these different things. It's strange. Yeah.
One enthusiastic immortal named Marcus asked me about you. He was interested in the Gravedigger. Please come here. I'll tell you more.
Yeah, that game's got some weird transaction shit going on too.